Hello, this is Gus from Askewed Reviews. And today it's Saturday, so that means it's a new episode of Cinema Society Saturday. Now, in case you don't know what that is, a bunch of us who love horror movies have decided to come together as a group. And each week we are randomly given a theme that fits within horror films. We then give our partner a movie that fits within that theme, and then we review that film. So this week's theme was psychological horror. Now, my partner this time around is Newton Webb, and if you're not already following him, definitely go and do so. Not only does he have great content, but he's also an author and makes some very interesting stories and books. So for this week, Newton gave me the film of Misery. That's right, I'm talking about the 1990 film directed by Rob Reiner. It's also based off of a Stephen King novel. Now, this film is an absolute classic, but just in case you haven't seen it before, let me tell you about what the story is. So, we have our main character of Paul Sheldon, played by James Caan, who is a very well known writer of a book series called Misery. Now, each time Paul creates a new novel, he goes to a secluded area to work on it. This time around, though, he's creating a story that's not connected to the Misery series. Once he completes it, he starts his journey back home. Unfortunately, there's a blizzard which takes him off the road and flips his car. Lucky for him, though, he ends up being found by someone who takes him back to their home to try to bring him back to health. The individual who finds him is Annie Wilkes, played by Kathy Bates, and she just so happens to be Paul Sheldon's number one fan. Now, at first, Annie seems very kind and very helpful as she used to be a nurse. Over time, though, she becomes a bit odd and a little overbearing about certain things. While Annie is taking care of Paul, his new book that is part of the Misery series does release. Annie reads it and she is not very happy about the outcome. So, now that it's been a bit more revealed that Annie has no intentions of allowing Paul to leave, he is being forced to write a new book to fix the story of Misery. This is honestly such a great film, and both of the actors of James Caan and Kathy Bates were phenomenal in it. Very good with their characterization, and of course, you felt like they were very believable. This is definitely a great movie in the category of psychological horror because it's all about being trapped, being forced to do things against your will, and of course, having to deal with someone that is at one point very obsessed with you, but at the other is willing to do anything to get you to do whatever they want. By the way, there's another character played by Richard Farnsworth called Buster, who is the local sheriff. I'm just going to say this right now. If I was missing, he's one of the few people I would want on my case. This man is never ending in his quest to solve a mystery. So for me on my scale, I'm giving Misery a 5 out of 5. So, three things when it comes to Newton Webb. Number one, please go and follow him if you're not already doing so. Let's try to get him up to 1,000 followers. I'm blown away that he's not already there. Two, definitely go and check out one of his books or stories. They're very entertaining, they're a really fun read. And three, keep an eye out for the movie that I gave him to review this week, which was the 2010 film Shutter Island. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of CSS. And of course, if you'd like to find out what everyone else in the group did on their review, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.